Other people are telling you that the one thing you need to do in order to grow your coaching business is to publish every single day. You've got to put a whole bunch of stuff out there, otherwise you're going to be invisible. One of the biggest things that I've learned is it's not just about the quantity, it really comes around to the quantity. And I firmly believe that the number one pathway to consistent client attraction, yes, is through that consistent content strategy. However, it's got to be through that filter of belief shifting persuasion, so that you are the person who is moving them through a specific journey, so that now they directly align to you, and that's the reason why they choose to move forward with you. This brings up an interesting problem, though. This sounds like a lot of work. This sounds like a ton of effort. And here's the thing that I've discovered. If your strategy in terms of growing your business is to simply turn on the camera or begin writing a document and just to start, this is the easiest place for that writer's block where those stuck points show up. This is why I call that the blank screen of death, or you end up with that deer in the headlights video that you then never publish online. So this kind of comes around to the idea of motivation. And motivation is kind of a funny topic, and it seems in the last year or two, there's been all these threads around how motivation doesn't exist. You've just got to actually start. And I think it's an old Zig Ziglar quote that you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start in order to be great. And the reality around motivation is, of course, that when you have a system, when you have something to follow, when you have something that you've already proven to work or others have proven to work and shared with you, it's a whole lot easier to get up and running a lot sooner. This is how we can consistently crush the overwhelm of consistent client attraction, by modeling something that's been actually proven to work. Though I wanted to share with you something that I actually do from time to time, because my goal isn't to be here with you right now and just present that, oh, it's easy, just go out there and do it. Just start, because we're all going to have those days where we get into our minds, something is distracting us, and we still have to keep the business going. And how do you burst through that motivation block? How do you get out of your own way and move yourself forward? I'm going to share something with you that easily becomes a 30-second ritual. Now, of course, it's going to take a little bit longer to share with you here because it comes around to some questions that you ask yourself. As we're talking about motivation, I don't want to be that person who just gives you surface level advice. You've heard this stuff before. Put on some music, get up and move around, change your state, and that gets us to a certain place. I've found you need to go a little bit deeper into that motivational cycle, and by doing so, make it about something bigger than even you. So this 30-second ritual is very simple. It's 4 questions followed by 1 statement. Question number 1. What is your best success story? What is the story of one of your clients and something that they've achieved as a result of the work that you've done together that you are just proud of? As a side note, for those of you that may be new in your business, it's okay for right now if you need to create a story towards something that you're moving towards. This is where you're going after the goal of your avatar's outcome, even if you haven't yet done the work yourself. Eventually, you're going to replace it with a real case study. Step 2. You're going to love this question. What was the unintended outcome? This reminds me of someone who I worked with that needed some help with their marketing. They hired us for consulting, and we worked on their belief shifting persuasion. We worked on their offer structure. And the big public story was that they sold a client for a very high ticket amount. And that's awesome. As we shared the story, it got a lot of clicks, it got a lot of interaction, and I was definitely proud of her. The one part of her story, though, that really stood out to me, she said, I used to treat the marketing as a chore. I used to hate the idea of having to promote myself. And finally, I was having fun with it. What was the unintended outcome? She took something that used to be a burden and let it become now something enjoyable. Question number 3. What would have happened if this person had done nothing? Even as I think back to some of my private coaching clients over the years, the question of what would have happened if they had done nothing. And I'm going to let myself go to a place for this one that may go a little dark, which is, what if they had done absolutely nothing? Not they hired someone else or they found other solutions. What would have happened if they had done nothing at all? And really allow yourself to activate some emotion on this one. Allow yourself to build this spectrum from this incredible outcome, this incredible unintended outcome, all the way down to the dark story of Christmas future that could have been. And by doing so, really create this spectrum of here's this place where everything was bad to then here's this place where everything was amazing. And genuinely allow yourself to connect with both of those emotional arcs. The deeper thinking behind this is I want to build something that's called a propulsion system. I want to be moving away from that pain, and I want to be moving toward that pleasure. And I want to do this with a real person if I possibly can, someone who I have specifically helped and I know their story before, during, and after. This way the emotions are real. Which, take a look at this energetic system that we've now created within the mind and body. And now here comes that final statement. My message matters. When you're operating from that emotional standpoint, how dare you not promote yourself? How dare you not let people know that you have this solution for them? I've said this for years, that if you can't even sell yourself into what you do, how well do you think you could even sell it to somebody else? And so many people make this mistake of thinking I'm just going to hire a company and they're going to fix everything for me. Well, if you can't sell it yourself, how well do you think they're going to be able to take your message and deliver it for you? This is why I've learned that core messaging of what you do, the core insights to the exact work that you do, is something that you have to do first. You have to dial in an organic way, and only then do you take it out to a much larger audience. Otherwise, you're guessing, and you're going to end up wasting time, wasting energy, wasting money, and getting even more frustrated than you were to begin with. So notice that as we're talking about motivation, there's a key shift inside of what I just shared with you. It comes around to the fact that that motivation is my internal story. That lack of motivation, that personal block, is a story that either I've created or I'm holding on to. And the easiest way to break free of that is to connect with the outcomes that you can create for your clients. I've shared this with people inside of so many other industries. Here's the accountant who simply by letting them outsource the bookkeeping suddenly gave them time freedom to better grow their business and spend better quality time with their family. That's an unintended outcome. Here's the person who, yes, lost weight from the nutritional coach, yet I love this feedback. It was that suddenly not only did I lose the weight, not only is my clothing fitting better, but now it's not occupying my brain every moment of the day. They were able to focus on what they wanted rather than what they didn't want. So what's your best story? And again, if you have to create one just to get up and running, by all means, go for it, yet eventually replace it with something real. And then genuinely ask yourself, question 3, what would have happened if this person had done nothing? And allow yourself to connect with these two emotions of the pain of doing nothing, as well as this incredible outcome, and feel those emotions. And fire off the statement to yourself, my message matters. Then you could probably ask yourself, where's that lack of motivation now?